Put your hands together for Dan O'Mara!
Farquaad, how's things, everybody? I decided to dress up as your dad's spoiled vote tonight, and I thought that was a good idea till I got on the bus. And then a guy looked at me, and I noticed how the awkward moment where I couldn't zip an old jacket. I voted for Catherine. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. He was wanking though, so it was good. My name is Dan. Hi, I'm from a place called Crumlin. Do we know what Crumlin is? You know, some of you do. That's kind of gross. You shouldn't do that. So Crumlin's known for two things. It's known for a shopping centre and for Conor McGregor. I know, we knocked the shopping centre down last month, so our stock is low. It's fucking low right now. There's a big drug problem in Crumlin. It's mostly me, I will say. You know, like drugs are bad for you. You shouldn't do them. They're bad for your brain. They're bad for your nose. With a nose as big as mine, you've got some room to play with. Thank you for noticing, sir. But I wouldn't recommend them to a friend, you know. I'd sell them. You know, well, it's rough because, like, you know, I'm from Crumlin. I had mates who were drug dealers. They were, you know, they were in prison now, which is bad for them. So I've heard. But it's a weird thing because, like, you know, I grew up doing acting and speech and drama, and I teach acting and speech and drama. So where I teach, the parents think I'm like scum, and where I'm from, people think I'm gay. And like, it's a weird dichotomy. Like, there's a language barrier through the classes where I live and where I work. Like, my mates, they're in prison because they all wore the drug dealer's uniform. You don't do that. You don't wear the drug dealer's uniform. Every one of them wants to wear the drug dealer's uniform. Each fucking one of them has an Audi A5, turkey teeth, and a baby with a name that shouldn't be allowed by the government, you know? Somewhere there's a mother in the coon going, "This is our daughter, Bacardi Revolut." Came out weighing £5 and 8 ounces. That's what our dad was called, weighing £5 and 8 ounces. He didn't do it, they put it there, you know. But it's weird because you don't wear the uniform. You come up with a cover story, you drive a family van, you say you're a speech and drama teacher, you know, you do these things to get away with it. But then when I teach kids, it's weird because I go in there and the parents look down on me because of where I'm from. Even though I went to that speech and drama thing, even though I know one of the teachers, they look down on me because of where I'm from. And that's not fair. That's not right. Like, I teach these triplets. I'll change their names for GDPR purposes. I'm not going to do as well in prison as my friends, you know? What are you in for? Stab the cunt. Sell a coke. I teach poems sometimes, but I talked about it. You know, it's not going to work for me. So these triplets run down the stairs and the mother turns and she's like, "It's so great what you're doing with Horatio and Imogen and Chlamydia. It's wonderful. Especially considering your situation." I was like, "My situation? What are you talking about?" And she leans in and she goes, "Well, I heard you were..." She fucking whispered it! Like it was an illness, like I had a week to live. Like me being an acting teacher from Crumlin was the equivalent of strapping a poem to a fucking terrier and just rushing it through the class hoping the kids can read. And I'm a vindictive man. I have vengeance in my heart. And what am I going to do? Hit the kids? No! You know, what I do is I try to teach them some Crumlin lingo. Because that's going to fuck the parents up way more, you know? So Horatio runs down the stairs and I'm like, "Go class, Horatio," and he goes, "Gee, bro." There's no streets in Horatio, he's too far gone. Imogen runs down the stairs. I'm like, "No, you said Imogen goes chatting out of us, yeah?" The man's ears prick up like a fucking Doberman on a hunt, you know? Chlamydia's fucking reefing a kid at the vending machine going, "Give me £2 till next week, lad, I'm good for it, yeah." Because this is a problem. The dad is standing there with Horatio. He sends his kid to private school. And he thinks that's going to make him smart. No. He's standing there and he turns and he's like, "Oh, Horatio is going to be the next Taoiseach. He's going to keep this country afloat." There stands Horatio. Barely keeping his head afloat in the situation, you know? Like, Horatio has a housing crisis in his own box of Lego right now. Which happens when you eat half the bricks, to be fair. So, but the blue ones are tasty, the blue ones are tasty. What can you do? Like, I teach him poems, he walks on stage, I'm like, "Horatio, what poem are you going to do today?" And he goes, "Slugs." I'm like, "Lad, you've been doing that one for a couple of years, or slugs." I'm like, "Alright, go on, brother, let's go." So he stands up on stage. Slugs crawl through grass. Watching all the Beatles as they scurry past. He's 19, by the way. Crazy, but they pay by the term, it's fine, you know. But I faced that, the language barriers are classy. I realised I faced a language barrier I wasn't used to recently. A language barrier I don't think I'm ever going to overcome. It's the language of love, folks. I realised on a date I was vanilla. Do you know how embarrassing that is? I'm not even vanilla, I'm just frozen milk. And in that moment I was reduced to a milky puddle. Which is how I hope the date would go, to be honest. But, it didn't work. So I was on point number 1, and I was on a date with this girl, and she goes, "So what are you into?" And I was like half a point in, that's a bit early in my head, so I tried to crack a joke. I go, the Guinness is nice. And she went, "What are you into?" Like, angry about it. And she goes, "What's your kink?" And I go, "Oh, it's like it's like you over there." "What about you?" And she turned to me and she said, "I have a breeding kink." Back left went, "Oh." There's always one. So I look and I turn, I was like, is that like choking, like a breathing kink? Alright, dickhead. My date, ladies and gentlemen. But she turns to me and she goes, "No, you idiot. Are you a virgin? Have you had fucking sex before?" In this moment I realised I have a humiliation kink. Different story for a different set, But she said, a breeding kink is basically, I like the idea that you're going to get me pregnant. And I went, fuck off. But then I thought about it and I was like, surely the whole point of a kink is it's a bit out of the realm. It's something, not usually involved in sex and all that. Like, I didn't listen much in school, but I'm pretty sure the whole baby part is what they invented it for, It's like if I'm having a conversation, I'm like, "So what's your breakfast kink?" I'm kind of into cornflakes at the moment, The problem is I said that out loud. And now she's more angry, and she got defensive, and she went, "I'm also into knife play." I'm from Crumlin, knives are all business, you know what I mean? So I look at her, I'm like, class. What are we gonna call the kid? I've one quick one for you here on the end of this. I used to work security. I know how. Basically, I went into a job interview and they were like, what would you do if you caught someone doing drugs? So I was like, "I'd stop looking in the mirror, pal." Then I went for another job interview. When I was 19, I went in, there was a guy called Pavel there, and I walked in, he was 6'6", as fucking wide, Romanian lad. I imagine back in that day when people are like, "Romanians are coming in here taking our jobs," Pavel was like, "What the fuck are you gonna do?" So I walk in, I'm like, "Hey Pavel, I'm Dan," and he goes, "Hey Dan, you sit there." And I fucking sat there, stone cold silent for 3 weeks, not a word. One day I made Pavel laugh and he went, "Big pussy." What is that? And I go, "Yeah." Now that's my name on campus, but one day this guy who worked a night shift, Brendan, he walked in. Brendan, we didn't like him. He worked a night shift, he left crumbs on the desk, he was a registered sex offender. Crumbs get everywhere, I know. And when he left, Pavel turned to me and he goes, "Dan, him no pussy, but you, big pussy." And now I'm scared, you know what I mean? So I turned to him, I go, "Hey Pavel, what do you fucking mean by that? What do you mean by the whole pussy thing?" Turns out Pavel learned his English watching The Sopranos. Some of you have seen the show. So Tony Soprano's best friend is Big Pussy Pompensero. When I made Pavel laugh, he was like, "You're my friend." I know, I was 19, I never had a friend before, this was great. Then I had to explain to this man that in Ireland, pussy is something you want, not something you want to be called, And he looked at me, the light left his eyes, the colour drained from his face, and he said, "I've been calling the boss pussy for 2 fucking years." He was on the phone later on going, "No, Tony Soprano!" And I was thinking, who's the big pussy now over there? Guys, I'm with Dan O'Farrell, thank you very much.